How to read your audience's mind. Reading your audience's mind when you speak. Why do you want to do that? Well, a lot of speakers, they get up on stage and they just get into their content. They don't care what the audience is thinking. They don't know what the audience is thinking. And it's hard to create a connection with someone when you don't know what they're thinking. Think about it. When you're speaking to someone, you're having a conversation, isn't it good to know what they're thinking so you know how to respond to them? You can do that as you speak as well. And you do that with the feed, feel, and fuel formula. The feed, feel, and fuel formula. Great way to start your speech, and that way you'll be on the same page with your audience and you'll know what they're thinking and you'll have a much greater connection. First step, feed. Ask your audience a question that they can answer in their own minds, a rhetorical question that gets them to think about their own life, and it should naturally feed into what you're going to talk about. So don't ask a question that doesn't relate to your topic matter, but a question such as, have you ever done this? Or do you remember a time when this happened? Or some other question that gets them to reflect on their own life. And here's the thing, the question should be something that is universally applicable. So questions such as, have you ever owned a cat? Might not be a good question because many people in your audience may not have had cats. But a question such as, do you remember falling in love? Is probably a more universal question that you can ask your audience before you get into your content. Remember this, universal yeses are better than possible yeses and possible nos. So remember that, feed your audience with a question. Second step is to feel the response. A lot of times we create questions as speakers, but we don't necessarily wait for that response. Think about the answer in your own head. If you're asking a question such as, do you remember the last time you got in an argument with someone? Think about it as if you're answering it in your own head. Yeah, I remember that time back in 5 years ago, whatever it is for you. Just take a few seconds to answer it and also feel the response from the audience. Sometimes you'll get that answer, sometimes you'll get people nodding their head, and you can also get people just looking at you, and you make that eye contact and you know that they're thinking about your question quite introspectively. So remember to feel that response before jumping into the last step, which is fuel. Fueling your audience with your story. That's the point when you can jump into your story, and when you're in your story, they'll be reflecting on their own lives. You feed them with the question, you feel that response, and then you fuel them with your own story. You know what your audience is thinking, and you will create a much greater connection. Until next time, keep speaking, sharing, and serving. And remember, if you got value from this video, go right down below the video, click here to subscribe.